So, I just happened to stumble upon Our Creators. A game to my knowledge came out of nowhere with little to no promotion in my experience. I don't know about anybody else, but it just seems like the game's doing pretty well in popularity. Yes, you heard that right. This game was first announced all the way back in 2021, and this is a online PvP, PvE extraction type shooter game. You can go against players, team up with them, go against robots, or you can always just talk to strangers, dance, or do whatever it is that you want. So the game was already met with positive reception, which is a good sign. And so far, the game has retained its player base to this very day. So believe it or not, this game uses the Unreal Engine 5, and surprisingly, this is one of the smoothest UE5 games that actually came out. It with like very little to no issues. I will just say this is that depending on the settings, you may have some dip in frame rates, but at the same time, if you have like good settings with the certain features of certain graphics cards, then you'll know what I mean by that. If you look at the settings, they usually tell you, and it'll tell you like if there's this thing you turn on, it might cause some performance issues or whatever. But again, it might depend on the card if it has it, but that's about it. So in this game, you basically have to do some quests and also try to find some items, build up some workbenches and whatever for your little hub thingy, and then you can basically extract out of there. There's two ways to extract. One, call a thing and it opens, but it doesn't last long. You have like 2 minutes to enter. And there's a hatch raider thing, which you need a hatch key for these things to come out. But the difference is that the hatch places instantly lets you get out, but you better be quick because they will close on you, and I've learned that the hard way. So I already say you can go against people, but you also have these robotic enemies, drones. Well, I would just say both robots and drones because one, there's different variants of enemies. They're all in different names too. There's some flying ones, there's ones where they can try to spot you and try to kill you or send an army to go against you. And there's also some of them that actually are land in terms of like enemies. Like there's this thing called a Shredder, and it lives up to the name, believe it or not. So why do you need to scavenge items? Well, you need them for crafting. You can craft weapons, health kits, or anything else you may need in order to survive. Oh, and by the way, if you die, you lose all the items you just equipped. Yes, I mean that, so this game is not going to be easy. But don't worry, each stage tells you the difficulty of the game itself. So you'll get the idea. It just depends on the enemies that are there or whatever, but like I said, you can play the game up to like 3 players in a squad or alone if you really want to. There's also crossplay if you guys want to do that, but you can always turn it off if you don't like it. And yes, you can also turn off the fill squad if you also don't like that. You also have a skill tree, which the only way to do that is by leveling up. The more you level up, the more attributes for yourself. Like more stamina, like lesser slowdown when you have a shield equipped, and whatever else. There's a lot, which it doesn't look like there's a lot on paper, but trust me, the more you play, the more you'll be upgrading your skills. So it takes a lot. You can equip up to 2 weapons. You can select whichever looting module that you want. The bigger that the quality is, the more loot you can carry. You also have the shield stuff as well, which can protect you from some enemies' attacks, which you're going to need some good ones if you are going to go against some bigger ones. There's supply drops, there's probes to look into, there's a lot of things to breach. Most of the players I've met in the game have never really had any sort of confrontation about fighting me in the game. Most of them, I say. Very little. I've heard a lot of people in the game have pretty much stated that this is not the case, but in my experience, it's a different story. Sometimes you can just dance with people if you really want to, I guess, which is funny. If you guys are going to want to take down some of the enemies, you need the best weapons, but you're also going to want to find some of the weak spots as well. Grenades can come in handy too. They can make noises to lure enemies, you can throw them for high power on enemies itself, but there's also some quests you need to complete that involves killing the certain enemies and getting some of their drives. You'll need some of their drivers for, again, reasons like upgrading the workbenches and whatever else too. Well, I say upgrade the workbenches because that's how you'll be able to create some of the loot. Oh, and by the way, you can also earn yourself in-game money by selling certain items. You can use them to also expand your stash, which is I recommend you do because you'll be collecting a lot of stash in this game. And I'm not kidding you. Well, in case you guys are wondering the price point of the game, it's $40. You can get it on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series. So far, what I can tell you guys is that they've been adding in some brand new content, like new maps as of right now, with Stella being the newest map out there. Now, here's the best thing. It's a free update, along with some new enemies, well, you'll be seeing some point later, and they'll be having an up-and-coming winter-themed stuff. Which, again, everything's going to be in a free update, so if they keep doing that, then it's going to get more people driven into the game. Which allows you guys to just keep playing and exploring new areas. And you can take on some night raids and whatever too. Don't worry, you have a flashlight, it'll help you. But you have to make sure you keep your eyes out, not just for random people that will try to take you down, but also, well, enemies that are well placed. I say this because there's these spider enemies, they call themselves the ticks, and they can land on you, and you can basically fight back, so don't worry. They're like one of the weakest enemies, but they are quite sneaky too, so that's why you'll need to listen to some of the sounds that the enemies make. Not only that, but you also need some gadgets like the zip lines, for example, because if you don't use the zip line, then how are you going to get across? You'll also need it for certain quests, I came to find out, but that's what I can say. You'll be noticing that I've been switching up a little bit in the video gameplays, because originally I used a 1060 for capture, but I since upgraded to a 3050, and despite looking into both of them, they both don't look too bad in low and high quality, which is good. I don't know what's going on with the optimization, because I do have everything I need on my PC to play this game, but GeForce says it's not what I have, even though I do. I don't know, make it make sense. But yeah, you can choose to team up with lots of people if you really want to, buddy up, and like take down big giant enemies that you'll be fighting. And the biggest one I've seen is the Queen. And let me tell you, that is a biggest threat you'll ever see in your entire life. I'm not making this up. There's also like these special ammos like energy clips and rocket. Yeah, I guess they got rocket launchers too. So yeah, you got pistols, shotguns, assault rifles, hunting, well, I wouldn't say hunting rifles, but they're bolt action rifles, which are really good weapons. Don't worry, you can upgrade some weapons as well, but you'll need some pieces, as I stated before. Yeah, grabbing stuff is the whole idea about this game. Because if you don't have certain items, then, well, I don't know, you're done for. But what I can tell you is that you can recycle items to exchange for more items that you probably need. So that's like a whole idea. You can team up with people, complete quests, get whatever stuff you need, battle out against robots, which, believe it or not, killing robots can give you XP. Same with killing people by knocking them out. Like, this game has a total of 50 achievements, which I'm sure there'll be more coming soon, knowing online games at this point. But this game is not easy, and it's definitely not going to hold your hand. So if you need to know where you need to go, look in the quest, select location, pin mark the place where you need to go, and then you're all set. Don't worry, there's prox chat, and there's also team chatting, so if you need to talk to people outside the thing, so you're going to want to use prox chat. Or if you can't talk in the game, you can always use emotes, and that's fine for what it is. It's also funny because IGN just gave this game a mediocre score, unfortunately, which is dumb, because they compared this game to Fortnite, which really don't make any sense, because, you know, every game has a pickaxe and everything, which I think is just funny. Yeah, I'm not making that up. But I will just say is that this is one of the more looting games, but for reasons being that you guys can always enjoy something. And again, most people are actually having fun with this game. And I myself am also having fun, despite it being difficult. Yeah, those enemies can definitely be your worst, because they can be powerful against you if you're not careful. So plan your time, take down the weak spots, and then you're set. So with this game, you're definitely going to enjoy it, but I don't think it's going to be made for everybody because of the difficulty curve. But I am sure that you guys will get some laughs and have some good time, unless you met one of these guys who just don't care about themselves and whatever. But don't worry, just keep on guard, listen to sounds, and I kind of recommend headphones for the best experience, just so you know where enemies may be at. And that's about it. So that being said, I think you might like it. $40 for an online game, I don't think it's a bad price. At least it's better than paying $60, $70 every year for things to flop. But that's all I can say. The Arc Raiders, I think it's a good game. So if you guys like games that teams with people or take down mech of aliens or alien mech or whatever, then you can do that yourself as well. So plan carefully, select whichever equipment you need, and then you're set.